How you doing? I'm Zuri Sneed. I'm doing my Raster project on georeferencing. The reason why I chose georeferencing and why I think it's important is because we have a lot of old historic maps, and we can find different scan maps on the internet that will be useful for raster analysis, but they do not have geo coordinates. And by georeferencing these maps to a base map, we can give these maps geocoordinates that enable us to perform different spatial analysis. Um, the different data that I'm using a base map from ArcGIS Online, also using a few maps that I just found on Google Images, which could be a historic map or anything you really choose. Um, the tools that I will be using is the georeference tool that could be found by loading it out of the customize menu by clicking here on customize, toolbar, and georeferencing. And as you can see, it comes up here in the toolbars. Also going to use a toolbar called effects, and you'll see why later. Now loading the data. In ArcGIS 10.2, you load the data by clicking the drop down arrow on the add data sign and add data from ArcGIS Online. This is where I found the actual base map, and you would just click and type in what you're looking for. In my case, it was imagery, and as you can see, different maps just come up, and you would just add it, and it comes straight to your map. And that world imagery map is the base map which you see in the background. Here, I'm going to deactivate that one and activate a map I found on Google, which is cut that map off, which is a map of Connecticut, the state. It looks like a old map that might have been found in an old atlas. It has latitude and longitude, but it just scanned in, and sure, it has no geo coordinates as far as ArcGIS 10 is concerned. Also found this map, which is a map of North Carolina Central University, which could look like a map that may have been found in a brochure and something of that sort. It doesn't have any type of coordinate system at all, not even latitude or longitude. So what I would like to do with these two maps is georeference them to this world imagery base map, which means lay them on it flat as if they were a part of that map, as like a layer on that actual world imagery map. And I want to do those in two different ways. With the North Carolina Central map, I will use points of intersections, and with the Connecticut map, I'll use the latitude and longitude. So go back to the world imagery map. We can right click and zoom to layer so we can see the full extent of the map. And first we're going to work with the North Carolina Central raster. So as you can see, it's already loaded, but if it wasn't, you would just load it in the drop down in the georeference tool. I like to always keep auto adjust on, because when you add your points, it makes the raster line up with the base map without having to refresh it. The only part of this tool we'll be using is to add control points for this part. The viewer and the view link table, they just show the control points. So if you add a point that you really don't need, you can delete it in these two tables. So first, we're going to activate the part of the add control points. And when using the add control points, you have to click first on the point on the actual raster, the one with no coordinate system, then to the corresponding place on the base map where that point should be. So we're going to activate the NCC raster and zoom to layer. We're gonna put our first dot on this corner. This is Lawson and Austin Avenue. Now we will zoom to the layer of the base map and zoom in. I added North Carolina counties to this world imagery just because it will be very hard to locate North Carolina Central with the whole world of imagery without being able to narrow it down to Durham County. So as I located Durham County, and I would just zoom in just south of Center City and locate North Carolina Central University. Which is right here. And then just because I go to Central, I know that this is the same corner of Lawson and Austin Avenue. And then I would click there and link those 2 points. And as you can see, the map kind of jumped in place just with that 1 point. It's not lined up perfectly yet because it's just 1 point. So we'll do the same thing again. Activate the tool, pick a different corner on the actual raster. Let's see. Let's try Fayetteville and Lawson. And then since now they're on top of each other, we can just deactivate that one to make it go away. Now click on Fayetteville and Austin. Now those just those 2 points, if we reactivate the raster map, as you can see, it lines up almost perfect with the underlaying map. And that's just with using 2 points. To be more accurate, you can use more points. And this is where the effects tool come in. We can load that same NCC raster on the base map and click on this swipe. And as you can see, you can kind of peel off the map, and as you can see, it lays almost perfect with the buildings, the roads, the underlaying track is just about perfect. Now, to give this raster map the same coordinates, we will click georeferencing and rectify. I just always take the decimals out of the cell size, and you have to find a good place to save it. Well, and save it. And then we could go add data, look in that same place. We can find the one that we saved and add it. And we can add it to back to the map. The second way I wanted to show you with Connecticut, since Connecticut already has a latitude and longitude, so we could close out our NCC rasters that's already been georeferenced. We can activate Connecticut. We can zoom to that layer. And as you can see, let's get out of the effects tool. As you can see, latitude and longitude is already given to us on this map. We could start by loading Connecticut into the georeferencing tool. Click the same button and find a cross section point from longitude and latitude. I'm messing those words all up. So we would click and then right click and input DMS of long and lat. And this right here, we just go by the actual coordinates. So we're here, so that would be 72 west, because we're in the western side of the meridian. So west would be 72. And there's no minutes and there's no seconds. And we have to make sure we activate west. So for the same one, latitude would be 41 degrees, 45 minutes, and 0 seconds. I have to make sure that is north. Then we would click OK. And if we zoom to layer on the word imagery, and then we're going to zoom into Connecticut. We only have 1 point right now, so it looks kind of tiny. So let's try one more point. Reactivate Connecticut, zoom to the layer, and let's pick a different one. We will go over here. We will try this point with 72 degrees west, 42 degrees north. So again, click on the button, the add points button, click on the intersection, right click, input DMS, long and lat, and again, 72, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, west, 42, 0 seconds, 0 minutes, north, and we will click OK. Now, if we zoom to the layer in the word imagery, and click on Connecticut, it was supposed to line up. We might have a wrong point, so I would click here, as I said before, and delete the points and start again. So we would right click on Connecticut, zoom to layer, find an intersection, So now we're going to pick 2 points again. Like I said, let's try this point right south of New Haven. Grab that point, right click. $73, 0, 0, 0. Make sure that's west. Then 41, 15 minutes, 0 seconds, north. Okay. Zoom back to the layer. Now let's pick this point right on top of Lynchfield. $73, 15 minutes, 0 seconds, west, 41 degrees, 45 minutes, 0 seconds north. Okay. Now if we zoom to the world extent, we zoom that on Connecticut, it fits. Just to make sure, we can pull out our effects tool, make sure we got Connecticut loaded, and the same thing. Let me zoom in a little closer. Looking at this effects, look how this river meanders and it lays right on top of it. Almost perfect. And again, you would save it the same way. Georeferencing, rectify, save it as Connecticut TIFF. And that's pretty much it. That's how you take a map, a historic map, or a map found on the internet and georeference it to a base map. Thank you.